Greetings, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. I'm Sally Jane from TravelSmiths, and I see a lot of new faces in here, so thank you for coming. If you don't know where TravelSmiths is located, when you come over the bridge on Route 88 on Ocean Road, when you come down onto the bridge, Dunkin' Donuts is on the left, TravelSmiths is on the right. We've been in business, storefront, in October of 26, it'll be 20 years. So we're rolling into our 20th anniversary. We've been in business for 40 years. So we started back in 1986. So it's been quite a bit. And I started as a little independent contractor, not knowing anything. And now I went storefront back in 2006. And I started with 6 advisors in storefront. And now I have 30 amazing team members that are working for us. And we've made it through hurdles of 9/11, COVID, whatever. There's always been something, and we just keep popping up. But I'm very thrilled and very proud of my team. I have some of my team members here this evening. I have Eric Johnson, who's one of our lead advisors. I have Stacy Camarelli, who's one of our lead advisors. I've missed Jenny. Jenny had to go home. But then I have Miss Jennifer Johnson, and she is support, and she does an amazing job. This is just 3 of our incredible members that I have here. And then I want to introduce my marketing team in the back. I have Jose and Tom from 100 Consulting Group, and they do great on getting out the word about our presentations and whatnot. I love our educationals. We started them a couple of years ago. It just brought people out here to see what kind of products are out there that you can actually go to. We are a full service agency. We do cruising. We have somebody on a Rocky Mountaineer right now. We do tours. We build beautiful itineraries for all over the world. So if you are looking for Australia, or New Zealand, or Africa, or Europe, I do have specialists that do offer in these services. And then, of course, we know our Caribbean and Mexico, that's our fun and sun, and we do enjoy that. And we do have our Disney specialists. I won't forget that. I'm sorry, Stacey, I will not forget that. And Eric is our main cruise guy. He absolutely adores cruises, and he knows those inside and out. But without further ado, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later, but I want to introduce you to Shannon McGee. She is from Cunard, and this woman knows her product inside and out. She's like an encyclopedia, and
no
she just
pressure.
flows. You just do a beautiful job, and now I'm going to really pump you up because I know you're going to do a great job.
I better do a good job
You
then.
will do a great job. So without further ado, Shannon
Thank you,
McGee.
Sally. We've been working together. I paid her to say that, by the way. But we have been working together for a long time, right, Sally? I mean, it goes back to the Insight days. So my name is Shannon McGee, as Sally said. I have been in the travel industry for, I think, nearly 30 years, too. So I was a travel advisor. It's a tough job. Thank you guys for doing it. With the ups and downs and the changes and the hurricanes and all the things, they will take care of you. So make sure you call Sally and her team. So I'm with Cunard now. We were just going through a little exercise. How do you actually say Cunard? Because if you're in England, it's a little different than we say it here. But that might be a question at the end of the presentation. But we do have a few little prizes. There's not a cruise, so I'm sorry, but we have a few little things for you. And so if you pay attention, I'm going to ask some questions at the end. So here we go. This is me. That's my family, my husband and my son. I was in Alaska for almost 20 days this summer. I did an 11-night trip on Queen Elizabeth with my family, and then I ended up going back shortly after for an industry trip for 7 nights. So if you have any questions about Queen Elizabeth, I could probably answer them in my sleep because I feel like I've been on it for so long. But we're in Glacier Bay there. So that's Glacier Bay right there in the background. A few things, because you see my son, he's 7, he's in the picture. We don't have a lot of children, but we do have some kids on board. We were the first, and we'll talk about some of the history of Cunard, but we were the first cruise line to do a dedicated children's area, a dedicated play area. We were in business for 185 years, so people used to take their kids back and forth on the Transatlantic, so we had a space for children. So you don't see a lot. I know sometimes people are like, how many kids are going to be on board? We don't have rock climbing walls or water slides or anything like that, so it isn't that type of area, but we do allow some children. So this is a little commercial of our newest marketing piece.
You're going to realize it one day. was never about following in the footsteps of all those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery. The listening to your heart and following it wherever it chose to go.
So the new tagline is, why cruise when you can Cunard, right? When you can Cunard, why would you cruise? So that could be a question. We'll see what happens. But as I mentioned, 185 years in business. So we have a very long history. But you don't stay in business for 185 years without growing and changing. So certainly we have changed a few things over the last few years. I mentioned that we were the first cruise line to have a dedicated children's playroom. We were the first cruise line to do regularly scheduled transatlantic crossings, right? And we still do those today. And we were the first cruise line to do a world voyage. We still do world voyages today. So a lot of firsts. The first cruise line to have electric lights at sea. So that's pretty exciting. Can you imagine cruising in the North Atlantic without electric lights? How dark would that have been? That's pretty crazy. So there's a nod back to the fact that we were the first cruise line to have electric lights at sea. On our new ship, Queen Anne, there's a entertainment venue called Bright Light Society, which is a speakeasy. So that's really cool. We'll see a picture of that. So the first, remember some of those first? You might win a prize. So we are iconic ships built for the luxury guest. Our ships are built for our suite guest. So you may think having that 185-year history, and you might think of a class system. You know, you have that vision in your head of Leonardo DiCaprio trying to get out, right? It is not that way at all. I like to dispel that myth right away. We do match our clients' stateroom with their dining room. So that's simply all it is. It isn't a class system on board, but we build these ships for those high suite guests. So if you're a high suite, you want to stay in a Queen's Grill, which we'll talk about, the entire ship is for you. But if you're not, if you are a balcony guest or a Princess Grill guest, you have this beautiful luxury vessel that you're getting to use, but it was built for those Queen's Grill guests. So this is Queen Elizabeth, the ship that I was just on for 20 days. But we'll look at each one of the ships there. So I like to break this down in 4 different pillars to kind of give you an idea of where we are. Has anyone traveled with us before? I know some folks in the back. Oh, the table back there. So, oh, you guys as well. So wonderful. So not many of you, that's good. We're a household name in the UK. Most of our guests will come from Great Britain. About 35 to 40% of the guests, depending on the sailing, will be from the US. So you will have an international group on board. So the 3 pillars that we like to talk about are iconic voyages, those transatlantic crossings and everything else that we do, our restaurants and bars, our unique enrichment and wellness, and our style and service. So first we'll talk about the voyages. These are our 4 iconic queens. So we just have 4 ships. They're all different, so they're not cookie cutter. The ships are not the same. We'll start here on the left with Queen Mary II. She is the only ocean liner in the world. So she is what replaced QE2, if you ever remember, Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Mary II replaced her as the ocean liner. She's built specifically to cruise in the North Atlantic. You can see that she looks a little bit different. She's very pointy in her hull. It's also reinforced, and she has an extra stabilizer on board. And she's fast. So she can do the crossing in 5 days. We like to pace it out and do 7 so you can relax. But she can do it in 5 days if she had to. In the middle, we have our 2 sister ships. They're not identical. Their decor is different, but they're the same size. The 2 in the middle are Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth. And then on the end, we have Queen Anne. Queen Anne is our newest ship. She just was launched last year. You see, they looked very distinctive. Has anyone been on Disney Cruise Line? Yeah? So their ships are modeled, they look similar, right? So they were modeled after our queens, but they draw a crowd. If you have Queen Mary II and say Queen Anne together in a port, people want to come see them together. It's just that historic classic feeling, and you have those smokestacks in the back, which are very iconic as well. One of my favorite things, I've been in the industry for about 30 years, like I said. I've been on all different size cruise ships, huge cruise ships, very small cruise ships, in the middle cruise ships. What I love about our ships, the space on board. So Queen Mary II is our biggest ship in the fleet. She'll hold about 2,600 people, but she could hold up to 4,000. So if we put staterooms in, and in fact, if that ship was with another cruise line, they would have 4,000 people on it. So we don't do that. Always when you're on that ship, and the ceilings are so high, and always when you're on the ship, it's always like, this ship can't be full, but it is. People never think that it's full. Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria are 2,000 guests. They could easily hold 2,800, and Queen Anne is 3,000 guests, and again, she can hold up to 4,000 guests. So it's the amount of space. When you're in the Caribbean, anywhere actually, but when you're in the Caribbean or Alaska and you're outside and you're not elbow to elbow with people, you're not bumping into someone when you're running from one side of the deck to the other to see the whale that's on the other side, that's so important. The only time that you might see a lineup is at our tea. So we are an English brand. We're a brand in the UK, so we do a proper tea, every afternoon at 3 o'clock in the Queen's Room, and people like to get their special table. They want to be there to see the entertainment. So sometimes you might have to wait for a table there, but I promise that's the only place you might have to wait when you're on board. So, and the decor, it's very classic. The woods, when you feel the upholsteries, it's just a very classic feeling on board. And you're seeing that whole fly-through there. That's Queen Anne. And the fly-through, that's our newest ship. The Transatlantic crossing, I told you that we're doing this regularly. We have about 24 per year crossings between Brooklyn and Southampton. And Queen Mary II doesn't go back and forth. Sometimes she'll do some things here in the US when she's here. Sometimes she does some things in Europe when she's over there, and then she'll come back. So again, it's a leisurely 7-day pace. The other thing I like to tell people is no one can do a sea day like Cunard does a sea day, because we have only sea days between New York and Southampton, so we have to fill them with activities. But the good thing about it is you could do as much or as little as you possibly want. I was on a crossing, this was before I worked for Cunard, when I was actually a travel advisor. I think I read 4 books. And that's something I never would have done at home, right? And when I travel, I like to see everything. I'm like the person who goes someplace like I'm never gonna see it again. And so for me, it was a forced relaxation. I have nothing to do, so I have to either do the activities or I have to read a book. So it's pretty incredible. It's there for you to do whatever you want, and there's tons of entertainment. But if you don't want to, you can just relax. Our restaurants and bars. So I mentioned that we pair our stateroom with the dining room. So guests who are staying with us inside, ocean view, or balcony, they're called Britannia guests, and they'll eat in the Britannia dining room. Guest in a Britannia club will eat in the Britannia Club restaurant, and then guest in a Princess Grill will eat in the Princess Grill restaurant, and Queen's Grill restaurant. And we'll talk about those different restaurants, but each time you go up, the menu is enhanced in that service, so we definitely will talk about that. The other thing, we have residencies of Michelin chefs on some sailings. We do have some alternate dining opportunities. We have a buffet, of course, on board, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, late night snacks. We have a pub. Golden Lion Pub is a staple across the fleet. All 4 ships have Golden Lion Pub. You can have a pub lunch and pub dinner that's included. There at the Golden Lion Pub, we have pop-up restaurants. So depending on the destination you're cruising in, will determine the pop-up restaurant that's on board. So we bring that destination into the experience for you with the dining. The bars, they're endless. We have Commodore Club, which is the martini bar on the top. We have Gin and Fizz, which is on the midship area right before you get to the dining room, has gin and champagne. So, and we also make our own sake. We make our own gin. We We make our own wine, we make our own Prosecco, so you can have Cunard spirits on board each and every one of our ships. Enrichment and entertainment. I mentioned that we do a lot of programming during those transatlantic crossings, but that's across the fleet as well. One of the most fun things that I did when I was in Alaska was the watercolor class, and I always wanted to learn to do watercolor. So on sea days, we have watercolor classes, and you paint the destination. So they have someone teaching you how to paint. We painted Sitka, we painted whales, and so it was just a really cool thing that I never would have done at home. We have fencing on the transatlantic crossing, so if you want to learn how to fence, we have Zumba, we have Pilates, all those things that you might not do at home, we have them on board. We have enrichment speakers. So again, matching the destination, we bring in speakers that probably are like, I'm just trying to think, like we're not doing, it's an astronaut. It's not like somebody who is knows about space. It's an actual astronaut that's on board. And the other thing I like about them is they're with you. Like they're moving around the ship with you. They're sitting at the bar. You can ask them to come to dinner. You can talk to them. They're very approachable. So I love that about our speakers. The entertainment, I'm probably getting ahead of myself here, but we were talking earlier. They have been on Queen Mary 2. And one of the other things that I really love about what we do is the amount of live music entertainers. It's more live music entertainers than I've seen on any other cruise line. We might have an Irish duo in the pub, or you were saying there's a jazz trio. There's string instruments playing in the grand lobby. We have showrooms on every one of our ships, and there's shows every night. So there's always something to do. It's not like you're gonna have dinner, have a glass of wine and go back to bed. You can stay up until the wee hours of the morning if you like on Cunard. Wellness. Each one of our ships has a huge spa with a hydrotherapy pool right in the middle. Any treatment you could think of. If you want to go on and if you want to come off looking younger than you went on, we have a med spa as well, so you can get a little poke in your, your Botox and be good to go. We have Harper's Bazaar Wellness Cruises. So there's themed cruises for them with special treatments and special menus as well. Our service and style. So White Star Service. So we were talking about this as well. We acquired White Star Cruise Line, which of course is the cruise line of the Titanic. So we took on their service. And so each one of our ship staff, goes through a 5-day training program. And so it isn't formal or fussy service. In cases, it is white glove, right? And when you're sitting at dinner, you're gonna have this beautiful china and lovely drink glasses, but it's more like they anticipate with what you need before you know that you need it, and they help you get it. So it's not formal or fussy, but it's just there. It's kind of easy. My son, Declan, when we were on board, he got friendly with one of the bartenders, and so he would just act like he would know that he wants a Shirley Temple when he comes up to the bar, but he had to ask him, like, how many cherries do you want today, Mr. Declan? And so I've seen the bartender a few times now because I've done ship tours and I've been on the ship again, and so he always asks about Declan. But it's not because I work here, because he didn't know that. He just did this because he is that good. Our style and celebration. So I said Sally loves a party, right? And you don't have to drink, we said, to have a wonderful party, but we love a party. Nobody does a party like Cunard does a party. So we do have gala evenings. There are at least two, sometimes three, depending on the sailings, where we have themed parties. In Alaska, we do an ice white ball, so people dress in glacier colors and like blues and white and silver. We do a masquerade. We do a red is Cunard red. The red is our color. So we do a red and gold party or roaring 20s. So we do the party in the dining room and then in the Queen's room after that. If you're not a person who likes to dress up, I love it. I love a theme. I love to get excited about a theme. I always get into it. If you're not a person who likes to do that, don't worry, you don't have to. So we have always casual venues that you can go to. but I do think if you're traveling with Cunard, you have to do at least one gala evening. So the gala evenings are amazing. We have Royal Court Theatre on each one of our ships, and there's always a show each night, depending on what night it is, depends on the show. And so every night you have entertainment, a few times a night actually. Just want to take a look at some of the spaces on board. I mentioned the Britannia restaurant. This is on Queen Anne, which is our newest ship. So the bottom level is typically for a guest that might choose they want either a 6 p.m. or an 8 p.m. dining. The top level is for that guest who chooses they want to have anytime dining. So you can make a reservation when you're on board or just show up and be seated at the next table. I mentioned there's a Britannia Club, which is the best thing about it. It's a single seating restaurant. So it's a separate restaurant from Britannia. But this table, say the 5 of you, I'm trying to count really fast, 5 of you were traveling together and you chose to do Britannia Club. This would be your table for the entire time. So you want to go to dinner today at 6 o'clock, you go. That table's there and I'm your server. Next day you want to go at 8 o'clock. You go. You don't need to tell anybody. You sit at your table and I'm your server. So this is your table, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the entire time. Again, the menu is upgraded as well. So that's the difference between Britannia and Britannia Club. I always say, particularly if you have some kind of dietary restriction, you always want to try to do something where you're going to have the same staff the whole time. So Britannia Club is amazing. And by the way, we can accommodate any dietary restriction. And it isn't like, you know, look at the menu, oh, you can have that. If you give them enough notice, they can arrange for something for that dietary need. This, I was talking earlier about this as well. This is a single accommodation. So Queen Mary II, Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Victoria have single staterooms, meaning there's not a double charge for a single person. So these 3 ships, this is what a typical ocean view room looks for the single. And you'll find most of the accommodations on our ships are balcony. Probably about 60% have private balcony, and this is a typical private balcony accommodation. So grills. So what's the difference and why would you do it? Grill suites are, and I'll give you a little more history, maybe I'll ask this question. Grills comes from, and I know it's kind of a weird name, it comes from a restaurant. So in our history, and like they started to have this alternate restaurant, that it was an upcharge restaurant. They called it the Grill. So that's where we got the name. Grill Suites was from that grill restaurant that they added on board. The, you know, epitome of dining on board. So priority embarkation, same thing with that single seating service for the Britannia is Queen's Grill, Princess Grill. You have the concierge in Princess Grill, and then you have a butler in Queen's Grill. Your butler will pack and unpack for you. Your butler will make a cocktail party. So if we're traveling together and you're in a grill suite, but we're in Britannia, and you say, hey, I want to invite my friends over for a dinner party, he'll make a dinner party and get you the menu from the Queen's Grill restaurant and have it delivered course by course to your dining room. So we could dine with you in your dining table in your suite. So in-suite dining. And again, if you don't like what's on the menu, so you're looking at the menu, you're like, can't imagine you would, but you'd say, I don't like anything on here today. Can you make me what I had yesterday? As long as they have the ingredients and the time, they will do that for you. So nothing is too big of an ask for you. Or if you're on a world cruise in a Queen's Grill suite and you say, I really want some fried chicken today because I'm just hungry for fried chicken, they'll make that for you. So you just have to ask. And then the drinks package and the gratuities are included in most cases in Grill Suite. So Princess Grill is like a mini suite. So if you think about a mini suite in a hotel or with another cruise line, that's going to be your Princess Grill. And now look at this. 2,249 square feet is this stateroom. This is the duplex, the grand duplex on Queen Mary II. It's 2 levels, has 2 full bathrooms, 2 dressing rooms, a half bath downstairs, an elevator, a huge balcony. So Queen Mary II. There are two, actually, if you want it. We have two on board. And this is one of the suites on Queen Anne, one of the Queen's Grill suites. They're also not identical. They're all different. They all look a little different, each one of the Queen's Grill suites. The two areas that are only accessible to our Queen's Grill and Princess Grill guests are a terrace, and then we have a lounge. But again, the rest of the ship is for everybody. So the rest of the ship is for the grill guest as well. So Queen Mary II, where does she go? We started talking about this a little bit. She does those regular crossings, and then she does some Northern Europe. She'll do some Canada, New England in the summertime and also in the fall. She does long Caribbean from Brooklyn. So if you don't want to fly, you could go right to Brooklyn and take a 12-night Caribbean cruise over Thanksgiving and over Christmas on Queen Mary II. We have a library on each one of our ships. Queen Mary II has the largest library. There are, I think, 8,000 books in the library. There's a librarian. It's funny, when I was on, I saw a bunch of teenagers on Queen Elizabeth in the library. They just liked sitting by the window and on their device. It was a quiet area for them. This is the Queen's Room. We have the largest dance floors at sea. They're wooden sprung dance floors. So dancers love Cunard. Ballroom, Latin swing, all the kind of dances. Also other things happen there, entertainment during the day, but every night there's a band that plays as well. And you can dance the night away if you like. Royal Court Theatre, I mentioned we have our production shows plus other entertainment from the Royal Court Theatre. We have casinos on board. Think Monte Carlo, not Las Vegas, so very classic kind of casinos, not huge, but something to fill your time if you like, or to lose or win a little money, I guess. If you're thinking about going to Europe and you're just thinking about the thought of going to an airport and getting on an airplane, even in business class, and it makes you crazy because sometimes flying is not fun, if you check the prices, if you have time, I mean, some people are still working, so maybe they don't have enough time, but if you have the time, take a look at it. Have the ladies and gentlemen take a look at the cost of Queen Mary II, doing a crossing if it fits in your schedule. Think about the 7 days across, losing the hour a day instead of having jet lag when you get there, having lovely food and entertainment along the way. So why not? Why not try to do the Queen Mary II if you're doing a river cruise or something else? We do event voyages, and this is kind of if you're getting into Cunard, like if you're really into one of these things, it might be a good way to start. These are mostly done on our crossings because we have more time to do the fun things that these event voyages require. Transatlantic Fashion Week is actually at the end of this month. We have an Abbey Road in 26, so it's a Beatles-themed cruise. We have the theater at sea. So a bunch of different event voyages. They can all be found on our website. We have kennels. If you're going to spend some time in Europe and you don't want to leave your friend at home, we have we have kennels. Now we only operate the kennels on the crossing. So if you're on another voyage on Queen Mary II, you can't take your dog, but you can take your dog to Southampton. So there's 12 large, 12 small. They have a light pole and a fire hydrant, so depending on where you're from, the dog will feel comfortable. I mentioned we do 24 crossings in each direction, not each direction, 24 total, I should say. Some of them actually end in Hamburg or Le Havre as well, so you can not only go to Southampton, but some of them you can end up. Le Havre is the Paris port. Norwegian fjords. We do a lot of Norwegian fjords. Our itinerary planning is done in such a way that you'll see you have a voyage calendar, and we do it so that it's kind of a progression. So, if you have only 7 days, we might do like a Southampton to Rome. But if you have 14, that might continue on to Turkey. So it's done in that kind of way that you can kind of pick if you're doing extra days. So this is the crossing with the fjords. If you're just doing the fjords, it's 12 nights. And so that might be something we were talking about. I don't know when you were thinking of going, but crossing plus fjords and then back. 7-night. So to my point, you can do a 7-night or longer then. I mentioned this already. We're doing these longer Caribbean from New York. We usually do them over Thanksgiving and Christmas. This is probably a little dated, but there's space. You don't have plans for Thanksgiving. There's space on this, so you can actually still go. But so 12 nights from New York to the Caribbean. Now, Queen Anne is the 249th ship to fly the Cunard flag. So we've had 248 ships before her in that 185-year history. She just came out last year. So she is 3,000 passengers. There's the fly through here. It's going to be like a whiplash for you, but I'm going to play it so you can see. There's some really amazing spaces. As I mentioned, there is some change with Queen Anne. We're keeping all the things that you love about Cunard and then just having it a little more contemporary. She still has the Queen's Room. She still has the Golden Lion Pub. So you still have all those lovely things. Her restaurants, though, I mentioned the pop-up restaurants on the other ships. She actually has 4 restaurants that are always on. An Indian restaurant, a Japanese restaurant, a steakhouse, and... I know, Mediterranean restaurant. Thank you. Gyms and spas. I love those heated seats. Canyon Ranch is the inspiration for our spas. We actually had Canyon Ranch on board, and then we modeled our Muriel spas after the Canyon Ranch spas. It might have started over while I was talking. I don't know. Did it start over while I was talking? Still going. Oh, I wonder if I missed the bright lights. Oh, Queen Anne and Queen Mary II the pavilion pools have retractable roof. So that's really nice. If you're on Queen Mary II and you're cruising in the wintertime, you can still use the pool when you're going in the North Atlantic. Queen Anne is based in Europe, so she mostly does Southampton cruising. This kind of gives you an idea of how the ship is made up as far as how many suites are on board, and as I mentioned, balcony is the most. The other thing that's iconic about Cunard is the 3-level lobby. When you walk in, this is what you see. Each one of the ships look like that when you walk in. Queen's Room in the heart of the ship, in the very middle. You could watch the dancing from above if you want, if you don't want to join in, or you can, of course, join in. There's the Bright Lights Society. So the Bright Light Society has the speakeasy feel, and there's different shows, like 3 different shows a night, and then it becomes the nightclub later on. The chart room, martini bar, wellness pavilion. So there's Pilates, there's all different yoga, and this is on the top of the ship. The Golden Lion Pub. This is funny. Look at the artwork in there. It's pretty funny. I love the Golden Lion Pub. It's, they have dart boards, they have entertainment, they do trivia. So it's just a really fun place to hang out. And as I mentioned, there's pub lunch and pub dinner. Sir Samuel's is the steakhouse. We have our Indian restaurant, and Queen Anne also does fjords. This is a really cool sailing if you have some time in the beginning of next year. We're doing a circumnavigation of South America from Fort Lauderdale. You can catch it in Fort Lauderdale. It's 56 days. And then that brings us to Queen Anne. So Queen Anne, she was just renovated this year. She is doing our Alaska and Caribbean sailing. So just this past Thursday, we launched our first Caribbean sailing out of Miami. So we did ship tours from there. So I was on the ship again that day. There's about 2,000 guests on Queen Elizabeth. Another first for you, we were the first cruise line to have box seats in our theater. So you see the box seats in the theater. You could actually rent those. You could rent the box seats for just a nominal charge, and there's drinks and snacks in there. The Queen's Room is huge on Queen Elizabeth. And again, all renovated. Commodore Club, I love this space, especially in Alaska. It's round windows. I talk with my hand, so round windows is the martini bar. But you could spot whales super easy from there if you're on an Alaska sailing. And the yacht club is open late night. And then we have our 2-level library on Queen Elizabeth. And another fun space is the Garden Lounge up at the top. That's entertainment happening, and then a Golden Lion pub. So it's our farewell season in Alaska in 26. After the season in Alaska next year, we'll come back to the Caribbean for a little while, but then Queen Elizabeth is going back to England. So she'll be doing European sailings after that. So I have a little video.
We have to get to Alaska next year.
Yes, you do. You need to go next year. If you want to sail on a Queen. The ice white ball, we have an ice luge, and they put a drink in it, and it comes down all cold for you. That was that one drink they were showing there, so that's pretty cool. Something else sparked my, oh, I know what it was. We have blankets outside, so if you're outside on the deck and it's a little chilly, we have blankets there for you. Each stateroom has a bathrobe and slippers. You have sparkling wine or champagne on arrival, so just the tiny little touches that Cunard does that makes it special. 11-night version. This is one of the 11-night versions that we have. We also do plan where it is getting crowded. It's been getting more crowded and more crowded in Alaska the last few years, but we do the itinerary planning in a way that we try to get there on days that the other big ships aren't there, so you have fewer people in port. That's another thing that goes into the planning of our itineraries. And also hitting the main cities, but we also like to do the off the beaten track kind of places too. So we do a 10-night, you have here, and then we have a 7-night. I think there are 9 nights too. There's a couple different versions in Alaska in the 26 season. Frontiers is the pop-up restaurant, the Alaskan specialty restaurant on board. It was one of the best meals I had. They have salmon that they like fish right out of there, smoke it, and they bring it like this tableside presentation where you can choose what you want on your smoked salmon. It's a really nice experience. And the speakers on the one sailing I was on, of course we have the naturalists and the park rangers giving the commentary on every Alaska sailing. In addition to that, we have explorers, deadliest catch fishermen giving talks. So there's a lot of enrichment on the Alaska. And then when we're finished with Alaska, either back and forth, we go through the Panama Canal. So we have like 20, I think they start at around 23-night sailings, depending on where you pick it up on the West Coast and come to Miami, or where from Miami up to the West Coast. And so then we're in the Caribbean. Another thing that reminded me of is on our lunch buffet in the Lido, we have sushi and sashimi every day, like delicious sushi and sashimi, so I like that too. So Caribbean, we're doing a lot of fun things in the Caribbean. Caribe is the restaurant, the pop-up restaurant, so Frontier will now become Caribe. It's Jamaican and Mexican-inspired cuisine. We have a whispering hour, and then we have the deck parties, so there's all of that happening. Has anyone ever heard of Come From Away? Yeah. So the story, of course, of that small town. Did anyone see the show at all ever? Yeah, it's so good, right? The story of that small town in Newfoundland where the planes had to stop and the townspeople took care of them is the show that we have, the full show on our Caribbean sailing. So I knew about the show, but I've never seen it. But we had a little sampling when I did the ship tour on October 16th, and it was like 15 minutes long or something. I cried and laughed in that 15 minutes. I just loved it. I was like, I have to come back on so I can see this entire show. It's pretty incredible. So Come From Away is the show. Also, on those Caribbean sailings, all through this season, we're going to have either an Olympic or maybe sometimes an Olympic athlete plus a Tony Award-winning actor. Remember Grease? Who doesn't know Grease, right? You have Frenchie, she's going to be on board. You have Downton Abbey patriarch on board some of the sailings. We have, again, Olympic athletes. So really cool enrichment programs. And Come From Away, I think, is pretty exciting. So this was the first sailing. We're actually just doing this now, but this will repeat through the spring. So a 12-night sailing on the Eastern Caribbean, a 9-night sailing to the Western Caribbean, and then if you have 21 days, you should do the whole thing. So you can combine them to do the whole thing. Now, I don't have any pictures of Queen Victoria because she's similar to Queen Elizabeth, just the decor is a little different. But she is our Med girl. She spends almost all her time, literally like April through October, in the Med, and then she does some other things. We do a lot of Atlantic islands, so you'll have a lot of Spain, you'll have Canary Islands with Queen Victoria, and this is exactly what I was saying to you as far as you can do a 7-night if you only have 7 nights, or you can do the next sailing, which is probably another 7 nights, so you can do 14 nights. And then next year, is anybody free for 109 nights? You could do a world voyage. Wouldn't that be fun? You get some extras on a world voyage. You do a shoreside gala evening. You have a concierge that takes care of you. Gratuities are included if you do the whole thing. So why not? You could work from there as well. We have Starlink. So if you have to work, you can do it. Sally, do you want to do 109 nights?
I was just saying that JJ retired, and that's why she now works for me. And I said, her son will be in college by then. I think she could work it out. He'll be back home by May.
Do it. I'm in.
Why not?
For Sally.
So that is the end of my presentation, except for I'll tell you about some of the specials we have going on right now. There are some specials, Explore with More, which gives you some shipboard credits and gratuities included. TravelSmiths is part of Signature Travel Network. It's Sally's consortia, and they have some extras that you get on certain sailings that they can look up for you, where you get some extra benefits on those exclusive sailings. You also have an additional 20% off by booking with Sally's team on certain sailings. All those Alaska sailings are on there, and some of those Caribbeans. And then if you talk to Sally and team by November 6th and make a reservation, you do get additional shipboard credits that you can use for all those spa treatments or relaxation. So with that, I'll say thank you. Do you have any questions, Sally?
Wait a minute. Waiting. All right, why do I have a tiara on tonight?
Oh, she's a queen.
Because we're sailing on the Queens. I love the Queens.
Not a princess, queen.
Huh? No, a
No,
queen.
Queen,
I
yes,
know.
for sure.
That's right.
Our 4 queens. Remember, we have 4 queens.
I know. And I'm going to be on Queen Elizabeth on January 20th to the 29th, so I'm doing that 9-night sailing. So I'm pretty excited. I'm like, ooh.
Come From Away.
Because I have never been on a Cunard ship. Cunard? Am I saying it right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, that was a great presentation.
Thank you.
I did learn a lot. I know a lot about their ships, but she dives in deep. And I mean, I looked on the papers, and I'm like, there's 101 things to do if you do a transatlantic cruise. I'm like, I need to read this. And then I wanted to know about the top 10 why I should be sailing on Cunard. Now, I've had a couple of clients sail on them recently and absolutely adore them. I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, and my other team members have too. But I'm just happy that you came down to explain, because education's so important, because this makes you decide whether this would be a perfect fit for you or not. And I think you did a great job. So thank you, Ms. Shannon.
Thank you, of course.
All right, so wait a minute. You've got some
Oh,
questions.
yes.
We got little goodies up here.
All right.
Little sprinkles of goodies.
Yeah, so we have 7 questions. I think we have a lot of things to give away here.
Oh.
So how should I make whoever raises their hand first? Sally, you can pick them.
This is on you, girlfriend.
Oh, no. All right. All right,
So-
I'm going to ask a question. Oh, you're going to see who raises their hand. All right, I'm asking a question. And then, or maybe all right, I'll ask the question, raise your hand, and then I'll point
All right,
to
what
you.
do we, what do we give? What do
We're
we
gonna.
give?
Oh, so that's a phone
Come on.
holder, so you
Yeah,
can put
so
your phone
pho-
on your desk and have it.
And pens.
And then if you go to the Caribbean, we have towel, so the wind doesn't take your towels away, right?
That's important.
And then we have a little tech case. So that's one little gift here.
All right, so we're doing 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
There
we're
you
gonna
go.
do this all together.
Oh,
for
we're gonna
one
do a
question.
bundle. That's what we're doing.
We're doing a bundle. I like a bundle. So how many years has Cunard been in business? Oh, what was that? All right there, yours.
Where do we got it? Who got it?
Okay.
Oh, Janice,
How many?
our newly retired young lady.
Oh, nice. Oh, world voyage then, perhaps.
So you could do the world voyage.
How many queens do we have? 4. Oh,
She said it. There we go, right over there.
oh, I didn't. All right, so we'll say. Do we have a children's program on board? Oh, who yelled yes? All right.
Who did it?
Back
Who
there.
did it? Run over wherever it is.
Oh, this might be a little harder. How many crossings approximately? Oh,
Who said that? Bob? Who? Who said it? That gentleman right over there.
I didn't even get the question out. You're really listening to me.
Somebody's listening.
All right. Oh, we have one more of those, and then we have.
And then we have
So we're going to do this and this would be the next one, and then that. So we have 3 more chances. 3 more chances.
Uh-oh. Come on, Shannon, you can do it.
Okay. What's the name of the entertainment venue that is a nod back to the fact that we're the first cruise line to have electric lights at sea? Oh, I should have saved that for the last.
Wait a minute,
gift.
wait. I see a hand. I see a hand.
It is a speakeasy, but that's not the name of it.
Come on.
Oh, say that? Yes, it's Bright
All right,
Light
right here with the
Society.
glasses, young lady. Woohoo! Oh, she's making them tougher. Making them tougher.
What's the name of the show that we
What's
have on Queen Elizabeth?
Which one? Wait a minute, who is it? What is it? What are we doing? What are we doing?
This. Sorry, we have something new. We have an umbrella and a tech case. And now this gift, the last one, is, you're welcome. The last gift.
It's in a Cunard box, that's all I know.
So
Ooh.
this is a commemorative coin, which was made from the.
We can't hear you. Put it back.
Sorry.
Put your phone.
Yep, I'm going to do it.
Put your microphone.
Coin that was made out of the extra metal from Queen Anne. So it's a coin, a little piece of history for you.
It better be a really tough
I
question.
know.
With an umbrella.
With an umbrella. I have an umbrella to give you.
Go ahead.
I should have used the bright lights one. I didn't know that would stump everyone. Dang. Let's see. Oh, I know. This is a good one. How many years did Sally say she's celebrating her storefront in 2026?
20 for the storefront, 40 for the
You got it.
Bobby Brown,
Awesome.
he's in the house. He gets that too.
And the umbrella. All right. Good job. Thank you for listening. You listened to me.
I love
it.
that. So that was a great, because you could probably hear a pin drop when that happened too. So we do have a QR code in the back, so if anybody wants to schedule an appointment, you can either call our office at the phone number that you have probably on everything. We have labels on everything in our business cards as well. Jenny will be answering the phone. She did leave a little early, but she's my gal that always does, and she's so proficient. She's amazing. But if you want to do a little QR code, you can certainly do that. We do set up groups. We do like Pied Piper type of trips, like I said. I'm going to plan on setting up a Transatlantic because Bob keeps telling me I need to do a Transatlantic. So I'm going to set that up for 27. And all the rates are out now for 27, not 28, right?
Yeah, through 28.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we have our schedule and pricing through 28, like the end of 28. So yeah, no, sorry, the beginning of 28, end of 27. I'm
Right,
getting
but
ahead of myself.
normally it's a normal deposit, and
Yeah.
then final payment's usually about 90 days
That's
prior.
correct, yeah.
About 90 days prior. So we could do some certainly beautiful planning. So once again, thank you very much for taking your time this evening to come visit us and getting totally educated by Miss Shannon.
Thanks.
And I do appreciate, especially all my little newbies that don't know us. Please come in and visit us. We have 30 amazing team members that want to just serve you. We've been in the business for 40 years. Thank you, Bob. So I started as, like I said, home-based, and I did the opposite. But the point is that we love to serve. We are there for you 24/7, 365. I have that little hotline phone. For the people that travel with me, you know that if there's a little hiccup or problem, you need to call that number, and Aunt Sally picks it up because I'm a helicopter mom. But I don't get that many phone calls, but when I do get them, they are a doozy. And we have to be there to help you. That's how we work, from the beginning of your trip to when you come home and say you had a fabulous time. And we have all sorts of bells and whistles, whether we have cruise track, which follows your rates. So when we book something early, I had somebody come in the other day. He booked something, he came in to visit us 2 months ago, and he's like, Sally, the rate's up by $1,300. I'm like, babe, I told you if you put down the small deposit, if the rate went up, you were protected. He goes, I couldn't figure out the date. I go, but you're coming back with the same date. And he's like, I couldn't make that decision. My wife had to make sure that she could get off, which I understand that. But with that, we do have a thing called Cruise Track that if the rate goes down or if there's a different promotion and we could do double upgrades, we just did a double upgrade or a triple upgrade for somebody and the rate was lower and they got a higher room category. So we get these emails and alerts every day and we look to see what's happening and see if it's a good value for you or not. And we are not just a cruise agency, we are a full service agency and we will take care of you. And I hope that you think about us. Thank you so much.